Hello everybody, this is week 6 of the LDL and we're going to be reviewing every single battle that happened this week, all 5 of them other than my own. And just getting right into it, we have Lulu versus Ufio, so this will be a great kickoff for the midway points for the draft league. Lulu over here, again very standard for their side terrain team, but they are bringing this Articuno, this Mega Gyarados, and Articuno especially seems to go very well into this team. They don't have really great ice resist other than this Registeel, and both of their, of course, Intimidate and ice resist mods are weak to Earthquake. So as long as they get the predicts right, this Articuno can have, this Garmanitan could actually go crazy for sure, especially in the late game if some of these checks are removed. But on the flip side, of course, Ufio does have this Urshifu, and this is Water Urshifu, I believe. And again, Lulu's only switch into that really is Gyarados, and how many times can it switch in, especially since Urshifu can of course have Thunder Punch on it. So start off, we do see Rillaboom leading into Darmanitan. Immediately switches out to Registeel as U-turn comes out. Good play for sure because Grassy Turn is up, Earthquake is halved. So although this could have possibly tried to go for Flare Blitz as a good mid-ground hit both, U-turn still gets value here because now you're able to get in something like Golurk, something like Lele, switch the terrain up. Basically whatever you want to do. Gyarados comes in to be blocked by Clear Body. What if they want a Dragon Dance or something? This can have Thunder Wave. It just goes for Iron Defense. Gyarados trying to set up on this, but I don't think it wins us unless it has some sort of weird tech for this mod right here. This is just sitting up in front of Gyarados' face, and no matter how many Dragon Dances that thing gets up, this is a Registeel. This mod has extremely high defenses, so this is for Body Press. It takes out basically all of his HP as this mod Megas, and I expect this to do a good 37% Earthquake. As Gyarados is taken down in exchange for about a third of Registeel's HP, which is kind of bad. Garmanitan comes in for the sack to get more chip on this thing. And Registeel in a great position to just keep hammering down this team. Lele comes in, but can Lele even take this out? It only does 18%. This for Body Press does almost half to Lele. It looks like Lele's gonna get 1v1 unless it gets a Def Drop right here. And it doesn't. Thunder Wave comes and paralyzes it. It's like he keeps shipping this down. Does it have rest? No, it does have Iron Head though, and it does knock out this Lele. So already, this is just gonna be a 3-for-1, and Ufio is going to have the advantage after this. The Oxus has its special attack halved. They get to reset their terrain if they want. Shifu comes in. Really because it's Scarf, then because, or else it would still of course die to that Psycho Boost. Does a good amount of damage to this Hatterene as Rillaboom switches in. As Drainkiss only does a tiny bit, this has to be a Soul Fist on Rillaboom for it to do that little. Knockoff destroys the Kibia Berry, which means now it is hit by that poison move from that Overquill as the Nuzzle paralyzes it. Turn switches out and Overquill finally comes in, see what Hatterene does here. Just goes for another Draining Kiss. It's a nice third of his HP. But Overquill at this point is going to have the time of its life. Goes for Crunch, only does 29 as it gets paralyzed too. Now Golurk does have a chance at this point. I'm not sure if Urshifu can actually KO it from this range. But Golurk does kind of have a really good matchup in everything here except for Rillaboom. And as long as the Oxus can live on, they can position themselves, there is still a chance that they can bring this back, especially since apparently they don't have a poison move on Overquill. And this Hatterene is just able to get back all of that HP. Paragon 2 does trace the Magic Bounce. Goes for Discharge, fishing for paralysis as it gets paralyzed itself. Now it's going to set up. Now Ufio's on the back foot because what do you do versus Hatterene that's just sitting up in your face? You just have to hope for the para, but you just get parried yourself. You can't get this chart off. Go hard into Overquill, as Draining Kiss does knock that out. Rillaboom switches in, but I don't think this can KO it even with Woodhammer. Doesn't even have Woodhammer, has Grassy Glide. Draining Kiss covers a lot back, especially with the Grassy terrain not killing it. And now this Hatterene basically starting to reverse sweep. I'm not sure what Ufio can even do from this point. Trumpeting does a chunk and lowers its speed. The Tight Shock will get rid of it. This Hatterene still at a good, healthy 63%. Oregon 2 comes in to try to discharge it, I assume, again, but Draining Kiss just keeps coming out. Keeps recovering this Hatterene, now it's basically at full. Now Ufio just needs some crazy hacks in order to win this. To recover, gets all its HP back, but Hatterene just setting up more and more. And now Urshifu can still certainly win though if this discharge gets a paralysis on that. Yep, and then it paralyzes this this Hatterene enough times. We need to paralyze this, I believe, twice in order for Urshifu to be able to kill this. And it might be able to sweep depending on if Golur can live that hit. And now both mods are just getting paralyzed. Draining Kiss does have only 5 PP left, but they're able to knock this out with Psyshock. Gliscor switches in, goes for Protect to stall 1 turn. One more Draining Kiss gone, but 2 Psyshock should close this out. This actually doesn't die in 1 Psyshock. Just Protect again to stall 1 more turn as a full parry comes out. PP is not wasted. Let's see if it gets parried here. Doesn't. Hatterene is healthy enough to live 1 Surging Strike from Urshifu. See what happens. Does it get paralyzed here? 3 hits. And it doesn't get paralyzed. Lulu actually does manage to bring this back. Registeel definitely a big threat, and I like getting rid of it early for Hatterene to be able to sweep, but I think you should have respected it a bit more and not tried to drag it dance up with Gyarados. I think going hard into something like Golurk, you've been able to do significant damage to this before it set up enough Iron defenses to actually beat you down. Because of course it can't use Body Press, Iron Head's not going to do that much damage, it can't paralyze you. But again, definitely a good job bringing it back with this Hatterene. Next up, Naga versus Alberts. And Albert brought the Nidoking, which definitely kind of breaks Naga's team in general. But who knows, maybe this Gatchon is able to eat his hits, maybe super especially defensive. Of course, your Force can't get split F drops or anything. Chiyu also looking like a really big threat to Albert's team. I don't see any Darkest other than Hawlucha, which isn't very bulky. And same for Fire Resist with this Cinderace, so. Nidoking leads into Gastrodon, sets up Stealth Rocks, as Scald comes out, does nice chunk and burns it. Now this Nidoking is already halfway gone. Earth Power does a lot of damage to it as Naga goes for their own rocks, which means quickly they switch into their Terrapagos here. As the Terra Shell blocks some of the damage. Terrapagos likely going to try to Rapid Spin here. It does get rid of the rocks. Steve Albert rocked again. Just went for Sludge Wave. It almost knocks this out, but goes into Donphan, either to Rapid Spin or Ice Shard this. This goes for Terra Starstorm. This goes for Rock Polish. Is this even faster? No, it isn't. Donphan's like really slow, and if this Terrapagos running max speed, of course, +1 it outspeed that. Like Alakazam, of course, with its tremendous speed, probably just gonna outspeed this anyway. It traces Beats of Ruin, which is a little terrifying if this Chiyu isn't Scarf, but luckily it is. It gets rid of that Giga Threat and Mega Alakazam, and now it's just, look at it, just clicking Dark Pulse forever. Cinderace goes for Gunk Shot, not even Libero, but that wouldn't have killed anyway. Goes attack Stunterous, but at this point, what can you even do? Can Hawlucha even take it back versus Golden Go versus Dragonite multi-scale still up? Gastrodon comes in, does not die to close combat, now it's just going to be able to go for Scald for free. White Herb. This Hawlucha is set up, knocks out the Gastrodon, but this Dragonite just comes in. The Wing Beat, it does land, it does knock this out, and now there's basically nothing Albert to do. Already lost to that Scarf to you, but Extreme Fleet comes out, really destroys them. Albert, there's a little interesting prep on your part. I feel like you didn't really respect this guy, and you put too much emphasis on your sort of, I don't know, sacking all your members. At least to that Nidoking, a big threat, almost got too unfortunate that Terrapagos lived that. Of course, Scarf to you is like really hard to deal with your team, especially since the only mon that resists Dark Pulse Hawlucha is kind of stonewalled by this Going to go with this Dragonite. Fire Punch from Never Golden Go, and there's nothing you can do for Dragonites. So, again, I feel like it's definitely a tough match, especially with the stack attack in the back with Trick Room Gyro Ball kind of blowing up your team. Next up, Grungle versus Pick. We see the full electric terrain squad here with the Iron Leaves, and if Pick has very few actual switch-ins to Iron Leaves in general, Scizor can take the hits, but everything else is kind of blown up by Side Blade and Sacred Sword Leaf Blade respectively, depending on the quirk boost of this thing. And of course its item could be choiced, it could be Life Orb, whatever it wants. Fine with that, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Scizor this game. It's Iron Bundle, it's the best neutral mon to take its hits. Tapu Koko, Iron Treads. I don't think Pick can make this Scizor spread good enough to deal with all of these mons simultaneously, so we'll have to see which ones it's able to actually beat, which ones it can't. I have the music on. Maybe this. Iron Boulder does lead into this Autono. Autono, it does not Mega. Post Combat doesn't knock it out, it just goes for Toxic. Iron Boulder already on a timer here. Is out the Iron Leaves. Because this boost energy, it gets us Cork's Drive for speed. Only takes a little bit from that. Now Crookl's basically able to go for whatever move they want here. They go for SD here. I don't think that can knock out Scizor here, even CC. Bullet Punch only does 32 though. CC, yeah, it does have, this is maximum Fist of Scizor, so now we know that this Iron Bundle, this Tapu Koko will be able to kind of just beat this thing down with their special moves. Another Bullet Punch comes out as Reflect. This is screens on Tapu Koko. Iron Boulder comes in, gets the Quirk boost. Nature's Madness comes into half its HP. First Reflect won't knock it out. And U-Turn gets the KO back as Grungle can go to whatever they want. Bundle comes in, gets that speed boost. Missy's Terrain cancels it out, but the boost energy comes back in. And Bundle goes for Substitute as Overheat comes in, halves this thing's special attack. So now we can just go for Substitute again as Gunk Shot comes out, but the Reflect is able to make sure that it does not break through that sub. We see Water Pulse, the best 100% accurate water move this thing gets. Is a little sad. Gunk Shots damages this. Again, let's see if it misses anytime soon. It doesn't. It does break that sub. They can go for one more if they want, but they just go hard into Iron Treads here. As Pig goes hard into Scizor, probably predicting that. Rhapsody comes in, but this will be able to roost that off. This is a max Def. This will always beat down Iron Treads, so whatever you do. But, unless you get a lot of flinches with Iron Head, but that isn't working. Scizor goes for SD. Now things are looking really tough for Grungle. What do you do versus this? Your Tapu Koko dies the Bullet Punch, your Iron Bundle dies the Bullet Punch. Well, can't KO this, and I think Grungle already lost to this Scizor because they let their Iron Bundle get chipped too much. Just Combat knocks that thing out. Low Kick comes in, but there's no way this KOs. This is a super defensive Scizor, and it's able to knock that out with CC back. Of course, now you can KO it with Treads, but I mean, what are you gonna do now? Your whole team will end up losing to probably this Chien Pao. This Landorus too could just click any move, just pop the balloon and just, as long as this balloon is popped, then that's a free kill with your anything really. Sacred Sword comes in, 85. Iron Head hits this thing, but it does have a Focus Sash, so it is able to clean that up. Iron Bundle will be able to come in and probably revenge kill this unless this isn't max speed. So it is, it KOs that, but Scizor of course able to come and clean up. Really well played by Pick, position your Scizor in, definitely not even making any unnecessary predicts there. There's the double on Treads helped, but it definitely wasn't really necessary with your Scizor healthy enough. And Grungle did okay except for the fact that I think they didn't respect the Scizor enough in the team building in the end game. They let their two mons, Tapu Koko and Iron Bundle, which could deal with this max defense Scizor, which you scout in the beginning with that CC doing nothing. But you let these get chipped and in Bullet Punch range, so that was a bit of a blunder in my opinion. Second to last, we have Ice Bro versus Vessel. Ice Bro having this, of course, Latios, this Kartana, this very offensive team that can kind of break through anything in its path. versus Vessel's sort of more set up spam-esque team where it's trying to beat down this team with sort of speed. So we'll see how that goes. What's leads up into the Picurchin. Puts up rocks around us as Iceberg goes for discharge, maybe predicting a switch. Maybe they just forgot, who knows, but eject button lets it switch out to Kartana, and Kartana, of course, a humongous threat. Pro speed comes out as knockoff does nothing because boost energy was consumed, of course. Picurchin switches in, but this gouging fire goes for DD, and now it reveals Dragon Claw, so it is able to hit Raging Bolt, Latios, and Iron Valiant. Does it die? It doesn't. Can it even knock this out? It goes for Destiny Bond here. Gouging fire goes for Dragon Dance, and Moonblast doesn't knock this out, so Iceberg pretty much already lost, especially since this goes for Burning Sun. This Jirachi needs to be able to probably live Earthquake and have something like Thunder Wave if they even want to be able to beat this down. But no, they just forfeit with Gouging Fire, get 6. And this is a very tough mod to deal with. He needs good prep to deal with it. Like, even if you had a Dragon Berry on Raging Bolt, for instance, it could have just brought Earthquake and KO'd that since it's +2. I think something like Encore on Speed Boosting Iron Valiant could have dealt with it once, but again, you need very specific prep for this. You need something like that plus Scarflatios in order to ensure that you don't lose to this beast of a mon, which is definitely tough because, like, for Scarflatios will mean that they can maybe set up with like Torterra or Metagross in your face, even SD or Shifu. Yeah, so Vessel's team definitely tough to deal with as a whole. Last up, we do have Silver versus Trixie, and of course, Silver's sort of really bulky team kind of folds to this Mega Mawile, but they do have answers to it. They do have this Landorus. We don't know which type this Volley is. It could be fire in order to deal with this really well. And Ferrothorn can probably take a hit, even Fire Punch from that thing. We'll just see how it goes. We Jolteon into Weavile. Weavile has a history of being Scarf. Moves out Duplicity on the Volt Switch. As Keldeo comes in, they send out a Secret Sword. It just goes for Surf, making probably a Predict on Landorus to switch in. But this Quagsire does just switch in with Water Absorb. Goes for Toxic Spike. As Flower Trick does basically nothing to Ferrothorn, only 7%. Keldeo gets poisoned as Leech Seed misses, a tiny bit unfortunate, but in the grand scheme it shouldn't matter too much, especially since it does have Protect. Can't get what they go for. We do reveal Aura Sphere and not Secret Sword, so that means Lucy should be able to use it really easily. This is a Life Orb though, so it can very quickly switch up moves if it has both. Sorry, goes for Protect. With their double Protect, it turns out that Leech Seed probably did end up mattering. I thought this Quagsire probably being max Spadef to deal with this Keldeo, but it was max Spadef actually. Friendly to deal with Secret Sword. As Blissey does go down, but Keldeo is now gonna go down to poison here. Blissey down, definitely a issue in the face of Serperior and Jolteon. Versus a smart switch in those, it just goes for a U-turn. I think Earthquake was a fine play because anything else that switches in gets poisoned. But they just go for a U-turn there. As Leech Seed starts recovering back up. And now Trixie's team, which is tremendously weak to T-Spikes, is just getting kind of destroyed by this. They do have Heal Bell, but it doesn't really matter when everything that comes in will just get poisoned again. Shadow Ball lowers the Spadef on Ferrothorn. A bit lucky, but it's still able to protect. It's taking this burn damage. It's getting Leech Seed sapped. This is probably Quick Feet, which is why it's Flame Orb. And wants to be able to be really fast and switch up moves. Is understandable, but now this team is just getting completely sat on by this whole big stall fest here. Leech Seed comes out. And even if this does have Fire Punch, I think he's able to protect, stall it out. It just goes for Iron Head here, does a lot to Landorus. This is leftovers. Mios Kuroda switches in. They're really on an Earthquake, but they just go for Taunt, maybe predicting Sucker Punch. And Mios Kuroda is in, it is poisoned, but Ferrothorn again able to switch in really freely. So it's turned into a Ghost type, but it still takes the Iron Barb Strip. chip and yeah, I don't know what Trixie's supposed to do here. Suicune, because it's getting poisoned, unless it has rest, isn't a good enough win con anymore. This Miasco, it does get knocked out by Ferrothorn, and it's, yeah, at this point it's looking really tough. Smallwood doesn't even have Fire Punch to cover some of Ferrothorn's HP. Goes for Protect again. Trixie gets up the SD, but Craigsire could probably switch in here. No, Ferrothorn just gets sacked, but the Iron Barbs will take down Mawile. I thought it was Boots for a second because it didn't immediately get poisoned, but will we go for Leaf Storm? Can still technically win if it's Scarf, presumably, unless it's Weavile is also Scarf. Weavile goes first. Not sure if Screw end up being Scarf or not, but either way, now it's over because all of these mons remaining just get kind of destroyed by Quagsire. This Suicune can't touch this. Jolteon can't touch it with Shadow Ball, but it doesn't do enough. It's gonna die to the burn. And if this is rest, it can technically take this back with pressure and might be able to beat down Quagsire. But it just reveals Aqua Ring and Protect, and to this, Valley goes for SD, trying to remove any chance that this thing can sort of set up or anything and win the game. Multi-Tag take away all of his HP, as it ends up almost dying to the poison. Hard to miss, but this game is basically over. Really good prep from Silver. It still got a little bit scary in the end, a little close with that Superior, especially since their Poison Ferrothorn, their Blissey got taken out early, but good prep overall. And that was our full week 6 for the LDL, so I'll bring you guys back with my battles soon enough. Take care.